We're going to do a session to help release neck and head and shoulders, I guess. And that's because, I'm just going to unpin that and pin mine. Yeah. And that's because we've got someone who's actually got like basically an ongoing headache in our group. So, and that stuff's always good. I just want to start the other thing filming just in case that actually works. It might. You never know. Hang on 1 second. It's my go live. It says I've got an excellent connection. Well, that's unusual. Connecting to streaming software. Just make sure. I thought I'd had set this up. Oh, there it is. There. Cool. Oh, like that. I think that's working. And now I need my other thing. Where'd you guys go? There. Okay. Yay. It's always fun watching me mess around and screw this up. So, if you've got, this is actually quite fun stuff to learn. If you've got a headache, it can result from multiple reasons with regards to what you eat and how your body contracts. But the rules are always pretty similar, is that somehow you've created tension. Oh, well, you could be dehydrated, but if you've got a body-related postural issue, then what will have happened in most cases, and I say most cases just because I'm sure I can think of an exception if I think about it for long enough, is I will have caused this in some way. And so also with sore neck and shoulders, people often think they need a neck massage and a shoulder massage, but often the posture that presents is this posture. And so actually what they need is a front of body release in order to allow this to realign. And to get this to realign is going to require stretching and maybe even massage and body work down the front. And then any tension from this, what is actually overstretching, can then be released afterwards. So it doesn't mean massaging here is bad. It just means the order in which you do things is important. Because otherwise, if I just massage here, what happens is I loosen off this tissue more. And this tissue here that's already gathered and over tonic becomes more tonic or more toned in its efficiency. And you've allowed this extra room here and this is already contracting in. So most of us want to get what hurts. Oh, mic's in. So most of us want to get into what actually hurts, but sometimes what we really need to do is look at the alignment first, realign, and then address the thing that hurts. So for Micah just joined, we're just talking about like neck tension, headaches, and like postural adjustment and how that can be adjusted intelligently. So if I'm stretching and I'm doing yoga.
My yoga class.
Sorry to interrupt. Could you just
silence you all? I just realized you're not all on mute. Mute all. Yeah, if I'm going to do yoga, the thing that I want to look at is first opening the front of the body, and also maybe also getting some muscles to engage that are either not working properly because of this adjustment or are just generally weak. So first I want to just start by warming everything up a little bit. So we're actually going to stand up. And make sure you can see me. So, and we're just going to play with like swinging our arms around a bit and jumping around. So I'm not actually bouncing off the ground. I'm just softening my knees, but you can totally get a little bit more of a bounce going if you want to. And we just want to get these shoulders like really relaxed. From here, I'm going to shift into what I do with my nose. So I'm going to take a breath in and hard out through the nose. So it's Now, if you've currently got a headache and this is too much, just swing them slightly and gently back and forward. You don't have to be really aggressive. Or if you want to put a little bit more heat into it, let it rise. Usually I put a timer on this, which I haven't, so I'm just sort of counting, 30 or 40 of them off. Usually I do this for a good minute and a half, 2 minutes. Now I'm going to change it up. Open. I'm doing this really big, but you can make it very small. You can make it kind of gentle. Depends on how you feel. Also, again, depends on that head. So. Now I'm going to go into opening the arms. So I'm going to go backwards first. And again, this can be little, just like nice and easy, or super big. And I'm sticking with that nose breathing if I can. Does some interesting things to what happens in your system. And forwards. I found this one really helpful. I quite often get like the scapula of my shoulder clunking over my ribs. It makes a horrible noise. And I found this one seems to get rid of it. Very Chinese kind of martial arts, or osteopathically they like this stuff too. And again, as fast or as slow as you like, you can really speed it up if you want. Let me shake it off. So we bring it back down to the ground. All right. So we've got everything nice and warm. Give my hands a little bit of a rub. Get into the backs of my wrists a touch. And I'm actually doing that because I can feel them. And often when I run my own yoga sessions for myself, I actually just kind of roll on the floor and start taking note of what needs work. And then I build everything from there. With regards to your neck and your shoulders, your hands are integral in that system. And so good flexibility here is actually really important. If I bring that forward onto my hands and I want to push these two front fingers into the ground and lift my palm up. I'm not hugely flexible here, but a good friend of mine, Aaron, will tell you that I'm much more flexible in the hands than I used to be. Some people are naturally really bendy in their hands. It's more of like a hypermobile kind of system in their skeletal frame. As a result, when they do this, they actually want to focus more on putting weight on and strengthening this area, not just opening it. For me, first, open it, then learn how to strengthen it. Yeah, Diego, you would count as that person. Definitely very bendy there. And also I might find that putting a knee onto my hands, you see I've just turned that in, and even dragging that knee across my knuckles. If you look at my hand there, you can see that little finger's got a nice gnarly bit sticking up. That's not great tuning, really. And so for a better tuned system, I want to really drop my knee onto that. It hurts, but it's effective. It definitely helps keep my hands a little bit more open. And then dragging again. And change sides. I would recommend removing any rings. And dragging. This side not as upset as the other. We're going to get a little creative today with some back bending techniques as well, and I'm going to give you different levels. We're going to start really easy first. So if we come down to the ground, and I'm going to do this way around. So from here, we'll start with just like a classic broken wing because it's a bit easier. So that's straight arms. Palm, and I've really like stretched my fingers out on the ground. We're going to activate our broken wing. So those of you who know my class know what I mean by that. It means pull the shoulder down the back and keep it there, which means you don't get to fully relax in this. This is not just a bend and flop open kind of broken wing. So pull that shoulder down. I'm going to look the opposite way and then slowly put a little bit of pressure onto that. And you'll notice I didn't let the shoulder rock out of joint. I kept it packed and away from the ear. My head is resting on the ground. People often lift this up and I'm like, it's just a lot of tension you don't need there. And you'll notice I haven't taken this arm up and over to bend it backwards because actually I want to support the joint. When you pack the shoulder down, it's a little bit more risky on your rotator cuff, so you want to move gently. And we bring it back. Awesome. So from here, I'm going to take that arm, and you'll notice it's already on kind of an angle. I'm going to take it a little bit higher. And again, I'm going to pull that shoulder down. Now, if you take this up on that diagonal and you don't pull the shoulder down, nothing happens when you go to stretch it. It becomes very easy. So the way you can tell if you're getting that right is if you can feel something as you go over. There I feel nothing, easy, easy, easy until I get to about there. Here, if I pull that shoulder down, I feel it there already. Good. Get you guys to stay there. I just want to put a bit more perspective on my camera. Blink. More room. And I bring that back nice and gently. Now, the last one is like right up by your head, but you still want your head on the ground. And again, if you don't pull that shoulder down the back, you're not going to feel anything at all. For the really hyperbendy, sometimes I don't get much out of this. It varies. So if I pull my shoulder down, look away, and then roll over that, you can see on me there's a nice big gap under my shoulder, under my armpit. If I relax that shoulder, I'm flat on the ground. I am very tight here by flexi standards, I think. And bring it down slowly. And then I want to go to the other side. So nice straight arm out the back there. I'm going to turn towards the camera this time. Shoulder down the back. So I pack that shoulder. You can kind of see it moving in the background. And then I'm going to roll that open. I'm going to turn myself around so that you can see that back arm. Everyone else can stay put. So I'm there. And open. And we bring it back. And I'm going to take that arm up on the diagonal. So you literally work through any range in this sort of like any different angle you like through here. I pull the shoulder back down again, look away from the arm and slowly roll over on top of that. And bring it back. And take that arm up higher. So now I'm right by my head. I want to pull that shoulder down. So in my case, I have that big, massive gap under my armpit. And then roll open on it. Head down on the ground. And bringing it back. So now I want to change that broken wing, and we're really kind of hammering this. Ooh, I got someone in the room. Why is everyone in the waiting room? Is everybody else still there? I lost one. Cool. Okay. Just get rid of that screen. Cool. So now what I'm doing, sorry people, I was just looking at my waiting room on Zoom. So now what I'm going to do is like a cactus version of the stretch, and we really are hammering into this to try and get the neck and the shoulders more open. So from here, if I bring that elbow just slightly higher than my shoulder line, I'm going to turn my hand like away from me, so it's on an angle. So it's this kind of like shape like this. And then from here, I'm going to do exactly what we just did. So I'm going to roll open on that. I don't need to pat the shoulder on this one. It's kind of different, but you can. You totally can. You've always got that option unless I specify otherwise. Just making sure my participants are all good. Hold that stretch. Good. I'm just going to flip to gallery if you just want to see everyone. Cool. So here. And if I bring that back, I'm going to spin this one around. Whee! So from here, I'm going to set up that shape again. Shoulder can just relax. I want to turn that hand on that diagonal away from me. And then from here, I'm going to roll that open. And bring that back. Okay, so lying on the floor, I'm going to put my hands back here. I want to put my forehead on the ground, and I'm going to suck my abs in and then look for my cleavage, basically. So look for your chest, and you want your forehead just off the ground a touch, yeah? And what we're going to do is we're going to do like a 4 count, and then we're going to turn the head just to gently look towards the armpit, and then back, and then other side. And it's a 4 count in each position. So I'm going to count 4, we turn, count 4, turn back to center, count 4, turn to the other side. And you're just gently looking to that armpit. So from here, I look for that, and I'm going to go 4, 3, 2, 1. I look to my armpit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Chest. 4, 3, 2, 1. Armpit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Chest. 4, 3, 2, 1. Armpit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Chest. 4, 3, 2, 1. Armpit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Chest. 4, 3, 2, 1. Armpit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Chest. 4, 3, 2, 1. Armpit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Chest. 4, 3, 2, 1. Armpit. Last round. 4, 3, 2, 1. Chest. 4, 3, 2, 1. Armpit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to chest. 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Okay, so the next one's more a mobility thing than a yoga thing, as was that one, where that's got elements of just part of yoga moves. So I'm going to grab this. Actually, to be honest, a foam roller is really good to do this with. So I'm going to use my bolster here. This one supplied by a local lady called from Global Artichoke. I love it. And what I'm going to do is just rest here. And I'm all curled up, and I'm going to reach this arm forward, bring it up here, make a fist. So I basically put my arm in line with the bolster, and bring that forward, and then I want to drop, and this is my very tight side, I want to drop that fist towards the angle of my hip. So it's not towards my knees, it's back a bit. And I'm going to allow this movement, that's fine. And then I'm just going to put some weight onto the wrist. I'm just going to hang out there for a little bit. Now I'm going to want to time it. Just going to check my waiting room because I think everybody got kicked out or had to go for various reasons. No, we're all good. So we're just going to hold this one for a minute. We're going to release it, and then we're going to play with it. We're going to do some pails and rails, which is kind of a technique where we do some like working to close different angles to try and get this fist down a little bit lower towards the floor. Be gentle here. It's a delicate area. I never do this one, and I have to say it's probably one I should do every day because this is definitely a weak point in how I move. Now we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to release that. And then we're going to come back. And now we're going to play a nice little game. So make the fist. Make sure that the angle is towards the hip. Remember, I started right up by the bolster in line with it, bent it, and then dropped it towards the hip, which allowed this gap. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rest my hand here, and I'm going to push up against the hand without anything moving for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now what I'm going to do, and I'm just putting like 30, 40% in. You don't need to do 70, 80, 90. Yeah. As you develop, you can get more into those things, but 30% will do it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull, even 10% will do it. I'm going to pull away from that hand. So I'm trying to create that gap. I'm going to go 10, 9. So I'm pulling to the floor. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I drop my hand onto wherever it's end it up, and I'm going to push up again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then pull down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I meet the hand and push up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now I'm going to rest on top of that and let it stretch. And you can see I've got a lot more room out of that after that little game. And I'm not pushing hard, I'm just letting that rest there. You want to be a little bit careful with these areas. We're not trying to damage anything. Again, for the hyperbendy people with that real, like the bendy joints, they give false reads. So they'll be able to get their hand probably very low during this. But actually the strength component of this, where you're pushing and pulling, is again probably more relevant to them than actually how low they can get their wrist. And we release up. That move. I always find it interesting with some of my hyperbendy clients that actually they have weird tensions locked into their bodies. You do something like this and you'll actually find that this isn't one that they're good at, and that they will actually get a lot more out of it than just the strength component. Come out of that and switch to the other side. That arm a little bit of a shake off. So, looks like I'm about to get blinded by the sun. There are worse things in life. Just put my timer back. So, from here, I'm going to bend that arm, make a fist, drop it towards my hip and just rest on it to start with. That side is nice and tight. And just gently resting this. Again, don't push. I will try and do a class again next Wednesday at the same time, but I might have construction happening here outside the window that's in this room. So if I do a mobility class next week, I might shift it to the other room and be really creative in a small space. So that could be super fun, and we'll see what we can do with limited room. In here I have the luxury of a lot of space. Good. And I'm just going to let that and set it back up again. Bending this in, dropping it towards the hip, resting my wrist on top, and now I'm going to squeeze up against that for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pulling down. So I'm really trying to get that towards the floor. Again, don't overdo it. If you've never done these before, 30%, 10%, 20%. To be honest, it's always good. You can start increasing the intensity as you get stronger at them. And then I'm going to push up against that hand again for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I pull down again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I come down and meet the hand and push up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And pushing down. 10, 9, 8. Well, not pushing down, pulling down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just resting on top of that and allowing it to stretch out. This is my better shoulder. You can see that hand is a lot closer to the ground than the other side. So on my other shoulder, I have a slight brachial plexus issue. And doing a lot of the tuning systems that I do, like hanging and these kind of things, helps to relieve it so that the brachial plexus block doesn't block blood flow to my wrist. And that allows my wrists not to feel like they've, or on that left side, not to feel like it's been sprained. It's funny, I knew I hadn't sprained it when it hurt. And yeah, I traced the problem back up to my shoulder. And that was how it got better. Sometimes the pain is just pain and the actual cause is further in the food chain. Good. And then we release that out. Second one wasn't too bad. All right. So now I've created all this room, we are going to go to another mobility exercise and open it up even more. So I'm going to ditch my bolster. That can go over there. And I'm going to come into prone flies. So again, it's got a yoga crossover. You can either go forehead on the floor or chin forward. Chin forward is harder. So if I go chin forward, and this may depend on your headache and your posture. If I put, or your shoulder tension, if I put my palms on my back, and then what I'm going to want to do is squeeze my elbows together as hard as I can. This is now taking advantage of the stuff that I've opened up in the front there. Then I want to lift my hands off my back. I'm still squeezing my elbows, and now I've got room between my back and my hands. And then I want to extend this up. I bend again at the elbows, rest the hands down, and then unsqueeze the elbows. So as I do this, I like to switch my hands over just because the balance of that I appreciate. And also I might advance it more, which may cause me to adjust my chin in my posture. So I squeeze the elbows up. I lift the hands off the back. I extend up. And now if I want, I can start to fly around, but I'm really trying to keep those hands as high as they'll go. And as I come around, yes, I totally adjust my thumbs and the angles of everything. And then I'm going to take it as far as I can with my chin on the ground, and then I'm going to take it back. If I put my forehead on the ground, I can get more movement. I can take this further, but I'm going to go with the chin version today. And then I rest my hands on my back, and then I unsqueeze my elbows, switch my hands. I squeeze up, lift up, extend the elbows. If it's there for you, you can fly it around. Really squeezing that height up and taking it back, up, 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 bend, rest the hands, unsqueeze the elbows, change. Up we go. Lift the hands, extend up, fly it around, and back. It's actually the best mine have been in a while. Bend, down, relax. Good, let them drop. Forehead on the ground, hands come up under shoulders. We're going to push back for our first child. All the way back, butt back to heels. Reach those hands forward. from our child, like the last class I did online, we're going to do a nice little side bend here. In this area, like the ribs and under the armpit, there's some interesting tensions in here that can very much contribute to pulling your posture forward. So I actually recommend getting your arms above your head and hanging. But in this case here, since we are here, what we can do is we can walk our hands to the left, keeping our forehead on the ground, and push into our right side. So put a little pressure to the right. And then I'm going to breathe big and deep into the right side of my body and into those ribs. And I walk it to the other side. Again, keeping my forehead on the ground, pushing into the left side of my body this time, and breathing deep. Try to keep your butt on your heels. I notice some people have a tendency to let that lift while they're focusing on something else. And we walk it back to the center. This time looking forward to your fingertips. You need to come up onto your hands. And you're going to walk them forward until your butt is over your knees. You can take your knees a little wider if you like. And you're going to push your shoulders all the way down and look forward. So I'm hovering off the ground and going for a really nice back bend here. And again, I'm getting into that kind of lat rib cage kind of stretch. Your teres in there is going to get a nice little swing. And I'm just giving that a wee wriggle. A little bone to click in my back then. That was fun. I place my hands on the ground and push down. Ooh, that's much tighter than it usually is. Usually I get my chin on the ground here. And then I'm going to push back to child, slide it all the way back. Come up onto my hands. Now we go into our cat and cow. So tension in your back and tension in your shoulders is always relating to your spine and your organs. And so we want to mobilize the spine. And the nicest, gentlest way to do this is to play with cat and cow. We breathe out as we tuck and look for our belly button. We breathe in as we push our chest through our shoulders. And then out again. Stick with nose breathing here. As I pull that chest through, I really squeeze my shoulders towards my tailbone and really engage those muscles. Breathing in as you come forward, out as you go back, and as you come forward, out as you go back, and as you come forward, Last one. And we're going to give it a wiggle. This is where you get to be a little bit organic. I love the skipping rope with the ribs. It's always my favorite. I also like to rock forward and backwards, get a little bit more stretch through my wrists. The further forward I can get those shoulders, the better. As long as I don't break anything. Got a big push through the ground as I do that, but you can, of course, play with bending your elbows. Really pushing those ribs around. Excellent. So from here, I'm not going to go to down dog, and here's why. If you've got a headache right now, down dog is actually probably not going to help you, in the sense that we like to do that like real full range shrug on the more modern down dog. So instead what we're going to go for is a back bend rotation, which I realize is going to rely, oh, maybe I can get away without rejigging my room completely. So what I need is a wall, a bit more angle on that. So what I need is a wall, and from here, I want to take my hand and stick it on the wall turned down. So I'm going to go like that. Oh, look at that. I don't have to move everything. And if you look at your hand right now, you'll notice, again, I can see fingers that don't want to go flat, etc., which is super interesting. Also, I might notice that my fingers have turned away from me. Instead of being straight down to the ground, they're kind of pointing in the direction towards the corner of the room. So what I want to do is really try to get them straight down as much as possible. And if you can't, that's a goal for future reference. From here, I want to turn and really push my hips forward. This is the entry level one. This is the one that you should all be doing in your offices to break up your day and stretch out this full chain that gets very tight using a mouse, etc. And I'm just going to put some little rotations into that with my hip. So I've grabbed hold of it and I'm almost pretending like I have to pull it forward. And then I'm going to take it to the other side. So again, trying to get those fingertips down. For some reason, this hand is better than the other one. And I'm going to pull forward. I'm pulling my abs in when I do this. Very much part of your back bend, which is probably what you're losing in some respects through the musculature, maybe not through the joints, but through the musculature. It comes from, it's allowed by hooking the pelvis forward so that I can bend more. The more I stick my butt out, the less range I have. So I like to do this one with people where I'm like, if I stick my butt back here and try to back bend, that's all I've got. As soon as I pull my weight forward on my feet, pull my abs in, and lift my chest up and over, all of a sudden I've got so much more going on. Now we're going to come back to the first hand and we're going to adjust it a bit. So we're going to put like a rib cage rotation into it with the other arm. So what I want to do is I want to try and set those hips forward, and then I want to reach like so, but I'm still pressing my hips like against myself. I reach for the wall and then reach that arm open and allow my hips to be dragged forward more. And then I come back, reach, and I'm almost pushing out of the shoulder and starting to get that back bend going, and around. Reach and around. Reach, around. Try to stick to nose breathing here if you can. Try to keep it calm. There's no need to stress out the body right now. Two more on this side. And then we change sides. What's interesting about all of these is even when you start doing the advanced ones, the lower level ones get into something a little bit different each time, and they still kind of hurt. Well, for me, they do anyway. The girl who couldn't back bend. So for here, I'm going to push those hips forward, abs on. I reach for the wall, and then I take it open towards you guys. Reach for the wall, open. Reach, open. Good. We go for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Bring that off. We're going to go for a little forward fold. For some of you, you will actually already be feeling that in your low back. It tends to be the big wall sweeps that gets mine, but all the same. We go one way, we go the other. So give those knees a bend, drop your hands to the ground. I'm going to tilt my screen while you're all doing that. So I'm going to drop down here. And from here, I'm going to wag my chin and nod my chin. And then I'm going to straighten through the backs of my legs and walk my hands to the left. If I'm not touching the ground, I'd be grabbing my shins here, and I want to walk that over to one side and then walk it over to the other. Ideally, my weight is forward on the balls of my feet. Don't shut your eyes. The chances of you falling over is much higher if you do that. And other side. Yep, you can see my feet. I'm always very conscious about these outside edges being parallel, unless I'm deliberately flaring them for a different stretch. And we're going to do that too. So if I come back to the center and I turn my feet outwards, now I'm kind of in like a plie stance. I really want my weight forward here. And again, if I'm up here, I'm holding the shins and pushing through and shifting the weight forward without falling on my butt. If you want, you could also use a block here to get a bit more weight forward without falling over. Now what I can do is I can pull my abs in and squat down, really hooking my pelvis forward. And then I'm going to extend that all the way up. And this is quite a unique forward fold feeling. And I'm really looking at getting into that hamstring to ITB connection in the back here. And then I bend the knees, abs on, squatting down, and then coming all the way up and pushing through. And down, abs on, abs on, abs on. And all the way up. Really try to extend through the back of your knees as much as you can without snapping anything. Snapping stuff is really not what we're up to here at all. Unnecessary. Your body will catch up to its yogic body if you keep putting the information in. Bend those knees again and straighten. Just being mindful of shifting my weight forward so that I'm on the balls of the big toes. And then I come down again. Last one. And straighten up. Looks completely like I'm trying to impale myself on that piece of wood behind me, which I really am not. Good. I'm going to bend my knees, suck my abs in and uncurl up in my plie. Why not? Excellent. I think we go next level. Now, with this next level, excuse me while I re-angle the screen, with this next level, if it's not for you, don't do it. Stick with one of the first two that I gave you. They're both reasonably attainable for anyone, okay? They might be really painful, I know that feeling, but they're reasonably attainable. So this next one is a big, basically sweep of this arm. So I put my hand on the wall, and I'm going to suck my abs in and push my hips forward over the balls of my feet. And then take a wide stance, makes life easier. Narrow up your stance if you want more of a challenge. Now I'm going to take this hand and reach for the wall, and I'm going to watch it my fingertips kind of draw a half moon circle towards that wall and come back. You'll notice I kept this other arm that's on the wall dead straight. So I'm doing these circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Excellent. Now, if it's there for you, you can do a full sweep to change the other hand, or you come out and place it on the other side. So I'm going to do the full sweep just to show it. So that's around to here, into the wall, straighten, and around. I haven't done these in so long, that was a lot of work. So from here, abs on, I'm going to reach, draw my circle. Reach, draw my circle. Good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'm going to bring that down. Again, you can sweep again if you want. Bending the knees. It's going to be a bit of a groan. Oh, especially if you have a low back like mine. Hang, drop the hands to the ground. Wag the chin, release the neck. Nod the chin. Straighten through the backs of the knees. Now, I was a bit remiss here. I'm going to tilt the screen again. I was a bit remiss here. One of the things that's actually really good when you're going into those big sweeps is getting a nice deep lunge stretch in or a couch stretch. So I didn't do that here. And if you wanted to have another go now, doing the same thing, if you're later watching this video on YouTube, you could do a lunge stretch, a couch stretch, anything to open the hip flexor. And that would really be interesting to see how much further you can hook that pelvis to get that sweep going. And we're going side to side. Weight forward on the balls of the feet. Other side. Other side. Other side. And then turning the feet out. I'm going to go for my plie squat. Move it slightly forward to that piece of wood. And then stretch through. My plie's gotten a little bit wide. I'm going to narrow it up, but you can also do a wide version, and that might be helpful if you're a little less flexy. So I bend, I really hook my pelvis forward, so I'm not sitting back. Tuck, and then straighten up, keeping those abs on nice and tight. Forward, and down, forward. 2 more. Last one. Excellent. From here, we'll walk it forward and come down onto our knees. Going to re-angle my little set up there. Awesome. Okay, so as I said, a lunge stretch. Now, the other reason a lunge stretch might be helpful for a headache, if we look at this area here, and we've got the psoas, iliac psoas that wraps in and around here. In order to undo this posture, which doesn't allow me a back bend, which is more likely to get me doing this, which is more likely to encourage this, if we follow that, I need to lengthen out, massage my quads and lengthen out this. It's a very simplified version. There's a whole lot of things you can lengthen out there, but I can tell you that's a good place to start in order to allow these hips to come forward so that I can start lifting this up. And then my head sits with my shoulders and my shoulders over my hips, and hopefully my hips over the front or midline of my foot. So from here, we're going to come into a forward fold. Now, if you've got a headache, this might be too much. So your classic forward fold in yoga is like hang out. There's a couple of options here. So we're going to do first, one that we do in my class all the time, which is a hug the knees, flex the feet, and push the toes away from you. And anyone can do this. Now, the idea is I want to try and get as much connectivity with my thighs and my abdominals as I can, and even get my head to touch my knees. As I push my feet away, As soon as I lose that connection, as soon as this starts to happen, I'm going to bring it back in. We're going to go for 8 more of those. We're just going to take a breath in and push it out. Breath in, push it out. Good. I'm going to do the last 4 holding my feet. I'm a bit more bendy, and I want to be able to get my legs or the backs of my knees as close to the ground as I can. One more. Excellent. Okay, so you can either stick with that. We're going to go for just a classic forward fold. I'm going to throw a wee timer on it here. When we do this forward fold, I realize I have to go soon. If the head gets heavier, it's too much on the neck, you're going to engage the spine, which doesn't mean sit all the way back up. It means flatten or straighten the spine instead of allowing the bend. So we're starting to work into these areas in here now. If you're not good at sitting up here, if this is not easy for you, you want to pad this. So either a yoga block, the bolster is excellent to sit on, and that's going to give you a tilt in your spine that's going to make this much easier. Also, I would recommend if you are having these problems with your head, etc., and your shoulders, that actually sitting like this on the floor at night as much as you can, and any floor sitting is going to be helpful, but this is going to help start to release some of this chain. Right, so from here, I'm going to breathe all the way out. When I breathe in, it's from the very bottom of the spine, and the breath lifts me up tall. And then as I breathe out, I'm going to hinge from the hips, fold, 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 and hold. Now I'm just going to let this hang. I'm not going to force it. I can totally, if I want to, get my head on my knees, etc., but I would rather that the tension that I have in my body, which seems to be coming from my calves, finds its own way there over the course of a minute or so. Now, once I'm down here, if this head becomes heavy, I'm going to pull my shoulders down my back, push my chest forward, and lift my head up to look at my leg warmers in this case. And I'm really trying to stick my butt out to push my chest forward, which is quite a nice way to engage a little bit of extra heat into the body. And then I'm going to roll it down again when I'm ready. I've got one more minute here. Breathing into the back of the ribs to expand them and then allow them to drop. When you're ready, and you can stay there longer, 5 minutes would be great. I have to run, so I can't do that today. When you're ready, walking yourself up slowly, and then just sliding yourself onto your back, which is where today I am going to leave you. So you can turn your palms out, allow your feet to fall out, corpse pose, or you can bring your feet together, rest your palms on your tummy, and allow this kind of turn out in this nice open plie kind of position. From here, just allowing your eyes to close, and letting yourself check in with your body. See how it feels. Sometimes the answer to a postural problem is to simply lie on a hard floor. However, if you have a severe postural problem, this may be at this stage not possible. So you need to pad it. And I recommend any floor engagement you go into, you pad it if you need to, because it's better for your body and it's better for the adaptation of your posture to pad it first. Over time, as the body relaxes into a posture, it will open up. And as it opens up, you can remove the padding. This is essentially yin. The first yin posture, I feel, should just be lying on the floor, allowing everything to sink and open with whatever padding you need. I am going to come out of this posture, but I'm going to leave you guys in it. As I said, I'm going to have to dash. It was more than an hour. We got carried away. It was good. Awesome. Thank you for those who joined me today. I recommend you stay just lying there and enjoying what's happening in your body. I am going to be posting this to YouTube. It will be under neck and shoulders, yoga and mobility for neck and shoulders. It hopefully streamed live to YouTube. Hi, if anyone's there. Meanwhile, it is being recorded onto my computer, so I backed myself up. So nice to have you all. Next week, hopefully we'll be able to do the same time. I will post on my Instagram, which is Erin Palashik, for those of you who don't know. And I will also send out an email to those of you who want the Zoom link. Again, though, if you want to do it, like, this is a nice late at night, or adjust some of it for your office kind of stuff, like the back bend rotations we did on the wall, and various versions. So thank you all, and I'll see you next time. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this. I hope the video quality comes up well. It looks good here, but you never know.